Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Former Cowboys Wr Michael Gallup to sign with Raiders. The Las Vegas Raiders will be adding another wide receiver to their deep wideout room. According to Adam Schefter and Jeremy Fowler of ESPN, former Dallas Cowboys wide receiver Michael Gallup plans to sign with the Raiders on a one-year deal worth $3 million. Gallup spent his first 6 NFL seasons in Dallas, which selected him in the third round of the 2018 NFL Draft. The veteran receiver comes off a season in which he was targeted a career-low 57 times. He finished with just 418 yards and 2 touchdowns on 34 receptions while playing in all 17 games, 13 starts. Gallup made 8 starts while appearing in all 16 games his rookie season, recording 507 yards and 2 touchdowns on 33 receptions. He would have a breakout year the following season, posting career bests in receiving yards, 1,107, touchdown receptions, 6, and receptions, 66, in just 14 games. Gallup had yet another impressive campaign the following year, registering 843 yards and 5 touchdowns on 59 receptions, but he hasn't been the same since. In each of the last 3 seasons, Gallup has failed to reach 450 receiving yards, a negative trend that began with the 2021 season in which he missed 8 games due to 2 injuries: a calf strain that had him out 7 straight games and an ACL tear that had him miss the final game of the season, as well as Dallas wild-card round game against the San Francisco 49ers. While the Raiders did not take a wide receiver in this year's NFL Draft, they did add 3 as undrafted free agents, 2 of whom, Lidiotrick Griffin and Ramel Keaton, were among the best receivers to go undrafted. Las Vegas is pretty set in that room, what with 6-time Pro Bowler Davante Adams, Jacoby Myers, and Trey Tucker, but depth is always welcomed, and Tucker still needs to prove he deserves that third starting receiver spot that was left by former Raiders Pro Bowl wideout Hunter Renfrow. Between Tucker, Gallup, Griffin, and Keaton, there should be some good battles in training camp as the 4 fight for that WR3 spot. Cowboys cut Ezekiel Elliott because he was expensive and done. Now he's cheap and done. Jerry has finally found something that he can't sell, spin, or market. Unless you are related to him, no one is buying this latest move. The standard optimism and curiosity from the NFL Draft wasn't even 48 hours old before Cowboys owner Jerry Jones and his team took a bulldozer to that hope by signing a running back who is done with a capital F. The Cowboys are not just testing the theory that any running back can suffice in this era of NFL, they are now the crazy Instagram scientist who thinks just because he wears a lab coat whatever lunatic idea he spews is legit. The Cowboys bringing back Ezekiel Elliott is a bad enough idea, but adding him to this running back room is the Super Bowl MVP of horrible player moves. Apparently Julius Jones, Paul Palmer, and Herschel Walker were not available. On Monday, the Cowboys brought Zeke in for a physical. If he passes, he will sign, which does not mean he will make the final roster before week 1 of the regular season. Zeke is a good pro and a nice guy to have in an NFL locker room, but on an NFL field he has nothing left. The Cowboys, mostly under previous head coach Jason Garrett, used up everything of note that Zeke could produce on a field. We know this because we all saw what he did in what we thought was his final season with the team, in 2022. That was the worst season of his career, a year where he was essentially replaced by Tony Pollard. Every Cowboys fan remembers what should have been Zeke's final game, in the divisional round of the 2022 playoffs at San Francisco. Pollard suffered a leg injury in the first half, which put Zeke back in his familiar role. It was not painful or ugly to watch Zeke that day, but sad. He ran the ball 10 times that day for 26 yards, and caught 2 passes for 7 yards. One of the best parts to his game, blocking, wasn't the same either. After the Cowboys cut him in the offseason, he signed with a bad New England team. It was another career-worst season for Zeke, When the Patriots played the Cowboys last season, Elliott looked like your typical former great running back playing out the final year of his career. Cowboys nearly land $63 million four-time Pro Bowl running back, report. The Dallas Cowboys are bringing back Ezekiel Elliott, but the team nearly signed another Pro Bowl running back. The Dallas Morning News' Michael Gelkin reported that the Cowboys had at length discussions about signing Dalvin Cook prior to the reunion with Elliott. In October, the Cowboys played a video montage for Ezekiel Elliott's return to AT&T Stadium when Patriots visited. Gelkin noted in an April 29, 2024 message on X, "It wasn't over for them. It's still not over." Dalvin Cook also was discussed internally at length. Last year, the veteran running back snapped a streak of 4 seasons topping 1,000 rushing yards. Cook had 67 carries for 214 yards and no touchdowns with the New York Jets in 2023. These were career-low numbers for the 4-time Pro Bowler. To Cook's defense, the Jets' offense was not exactly thriving, and the team's season was derailed just snaps into Week 1 when Aaron Rodgers sustained a season-ending ACL injury. Cook played 15 games for the New York Jets in 2023 before being released and later signed by the Baltimore Ravens ahead of their playoff run. Athlon Sports' Mike Fisher reported there were some inside the Cowboys front office that wanted the team to sign Cook. Did Dallas consider anybody else? Yes. Completely, Fisher wrote in an April 29, 2024 story, Cowboys sign Zeke to $3 million contract. Did they almost pick Dalvin? Dalvin Cook was considered by some here inside the Star as a low-risk/high-reward possibility, and he too was contacted before Dallas pulled the trigger on its legacy reunion. Is this the right call? With Cook, was there to be no reward at all? Or maybe he wanted a bit more dough than reunion Zeke? Fisher continued. The top players on the free agent market like Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, and Austin Ekeler quickly found homes elsewhere. Zeke and Cook, the former Vikings All-Pro who looked out of gas last year with the Jets, lasted until the very bottom tier of the process. Elliott and Cook share similar stories as the veterans may be among the last running backs of this era to have had lucrative contracts. NFL teams are being much more stingy with running back contracts in recent years. Now, veterans like Cook and Elliott are signing team-friendly deals for 1 season at a time. Cook played on a 5-year, $63 million contract with the Minnesota Vikings that was slated to run through 2025. The Vikings opted to release Cook last offseason, and the former Pro Bowler signed a 1-year, $7 million deal with the Jets. Cook is unlikely to find a 1-year deal for the same rate this time around. Did the Cowboys do the right thing by signing Elliott over Cook? Elliott at least showed with the New England Patriots that he can still contribute, especially in short yardage situations. Cook earned a 54.3 grade from Pro Football Focus for his play in 2023. By comparison, Elliott received a 67.6 grade from PFF last season. And you, fan, what do you think of the situation of Dalvin Cook? Leave your opinion in the comments.